वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे कुतस्त्वाकश्मलमिदं विषमे समुपस्थितम् अनार्यजुष्टः स्वत्यम् अकीर्तिकरमर्जुन क्लैब्यं मास्मगमत्वात् नैतद्वैयुपपद्यते क्षुद्रं हृदयदौर्बल्यं त्यक्त्वोत्तिष्ठ परन्तप कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूः मा ते सङ्गोऽस्त्वकर्मणि यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्।
Namaste. Welcome, friends, to a unique presentation on video of the immortal message of the Bhagavad Gita. The Gita was taught by Lord Krishna over 3000 years ago. It is God's message to man, eternal, ancient, and ageless. At the Ramakrishna Mutt at Hyderabad in South India, on Sunday evenings, Swami Ranganathananda has delivered an exposition on the Gita, verse by verse, in the context of modern thoughts and modern needs. This immortal message has been recorded live on video. It is my proud privilege to introduce to you Swami Ranganathananda, a man of knowledge, a prolific writer, a teacher, a man of God, and a prince among men. Swami Ranganathananda is a senior monk of the Ramakrishna order, the spiritual and cultural movement founded by Swami Vivekananda in 1886. Swami Ranganathananda was born in Trikur, Kerala state in South India on the 15th of December 1908. At the young age of 18 years, the Swami renounced the world and became a monk of the Ramakrishna order. At the age of 25, he was formally initiated into sannyasa by Swami Shivananda, one of the eminent disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. As a young monk, Swami Ranganathananda spent 9 years of his monastic life in Mysore as a cook, a dishwasher, housekeeper, and later as the warden of the students' home. He then moved to Rangoon in Burma, where he was the secretary and librarian of the Ramakrishna Mission. From Rangoon, Swami Ranganathananda went to Karachi, now in Pakistan, and was the president of the Ramakrishna Mutt there. He raised large funds from public contributions and sent rice and money to victims of the famine in Bengal and civil strife in Bihar. Independence and the partition of India saw Swamiji moving to New Delhi. For 13 years, he rendered yeoman service as the secretary of the Delhi Ramakrishna Mission. During his stay in Delhi, there was a massive expansion in the mission's activities. From 1962, for a period of 5 years, Swami Ranganathananda was the secretary of the Ramakrishna Mission Institute of Culture at Calcutta. Since 1974, he has been the president of the Ramakrishna Mutt at Hyderabad. He recently took charge as the vice president of the Ramakrishna Mutts and Ramakrishna Missions all over the world. The Swami has traveled widely to all corners of the globe, spreading the message of the Gita, the Upanishads, and the message of Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda. His lecture tours have spanned 50 countries, including Germany, Holland, USA, Australia, Singapore, Malaysia, Iran, and the Soviet Union. He has been the cultural and spiritual messenger of India and is considered by many to be its unofficial ambassador. The Swami has been invited year after year by the Government of India to address its civil service officer trainees at the National Academy of Administration, Mussoorie. Swamiji is the first recipient of the Indira Gandhi Award for National Integration. Swamiji has admirers and friends spread throughout the world. Swami Ranganathananda has a versatile and facile pen and has to his credit a large number of publications. The chief among them are The Message of the Upanishads, with an appendix consisting of the correspondence on the book between Sir Julian Huxley and Swami Ranganathananda. Swamiji's monumental work has been a 4-volume treatise on the eternal values for a changing society, covering the topics of philosophy and spirituality, great spiritual teachers, education for human excellence, and democracy for total human fulfillment. Swamiji's extensive lecture tours of 50 countries have resulted in the book A Pilgrim Looks at the World, which is a narrative with illustrations, comments, and observations. Apart from these books, there are many booklets of Swamiji entitled Neurology and What Lies Beyond and Children, Humanity's Greatest Assets. All these books are available at the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Bombay 7. There are also audio cassettes of Swamiji's lectures, Srimad Bhagavatam, Viveka Chudamani, Shanti Parva of the Mahabharata, Mandukya Upanishad, Science and Religion, and the Message of Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna Vivekananda Service Foundation is an organization that has been established with the objective of spreading the message of the Gita and the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda. Swami Ranganathananda has conferred on this foundation the rights to distribute these cassettes and has also advised that the surpluses should accrue to the Vivekananda Kendra. The Kendra manages the Vivekananda Rock Memorial at Kanyakumari, where Swami Vivekananda had meditated before launching his mission to the West. The Vivekananda Kendra has been rendering commendable human resource development services in rural India. These recordings have been brought to you by Messrs. Unique Video Shots of Hyderabad, and the editing and the cassette production has been done by Eknath Video of Madras. We are thankful to both of these organizations. We are also grateful to Swami Satyalokananda for his guidance and encouragement in the production of these cassettes. Friends, I am sure you will find these lectures to be thought-provoking and illuminating. Thank you.
In the city of Hyderabad, adding to its glory is the 8-acre campus of the Ramakrishna Mutt, a peaceful haven. At the center of the Mutt stands majestically the Universal Sri Ramakrishna Temple, which was declared open in February 1981. On entering it, we see the inspiring pictures of Jesus Christ, Buddha, Sri Ramakrishna, the Holy Mother Sharada Devi, and Swami Vivekananda. On the first floor, there is a nicely carpeted prayer hall facing a bronze image of Sri Ramakrishna in the sanctum, affording the devotee an ideal atmosphere for spiritual practices. Who was this person, Sri Ramakrishna, around whom this nucleus of service of man and worship of God has been activated? To know this, let us move to the Sri Ramakrishna Darshanam, a pictorial museum. The museum is divided into 3 parts. The first part traces the Indian spiritual tradition from the Indus Valley civilization to the saints of modern India. The second part describes Sri Ramakrishna's life and message in beautiful paintings and photos. This part is divided into several sections, like Sri Ramakrishna's childhood, his spiritual sadhanas, his cleaning the toilet of a sweeper, and his teaching of devotees, etc. There are also sections of the Holy Mother and Swami Vivekananda. The third and final part shows the numerous activities of the Ramakrishna Vivekananda centers all over the world under the common title, Spirituality Flows into Service. As Swami Vivekananda had visualized, the activities of the Hyderabad Math can be classified as physical, intellectual, cultural, and spiritual services. There is a health center which has excellent medical facilities with 10 departments of allopathic system and a homeopathic dispensary. A group of dedicated doctors serve here with the idea of work as worship. Besides this health center is the imposing Vivekananda Institute of Education and Culture with its library, a school of languages, seminar hall, and a 1,200-seat Vivekananda auditorium. The library has a good collection of books, especially on religion and 20th century science. The children's section of the library has books on various subjects, including stories of India and other countries. The seminar hall affords a suitable place to hold seminars and small meetings and classes. The Vivekananda Auditorium is a hall where regular Saturday discourses in Telugu and occasional public meetings are held. It is specially sanctified by Sunday discourses on the Upanishads and the Gita by Swami Ranganathananda. A well-stocked and well-displayed bookstall attracts many visitors to the Mart campus. It stacks, apart from books, varieties of cassette tapes and photos. Those who wish to enjoy the spiritual atmosphere of the Mart can stay in the Vivekananda International Guest House behind the auditorium. You are always welcome here.
ॐ सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम तत्सत्. This is called Shanti Mantra, peace chant, taken from the Upanishads. At the beginning of study, generally this and a few other verses are sung. It means Om Sahana Vavatu. Let the Divine protect both of us, students and teacher. Sahanau Bhanaktu. Let us be nourished by the Divine. Sahaviryam Karabhavahai. Let us achieve tremendous strength and energy through this study. And Tejasvinau Adhitamastu. Let us become enlightened by this study. Ma Vidvishavahai. Let us not hate each other, but only love each other. Om peace, peace, peace. With this Shanti Mantra, we commence today the study of the entire Bhagavad Gita of 700 verses divided into 18 chapters. Before we study the Gita, we study what they call the Gita Dhyana Shlokas, the meditation verses on the Gita. 9 verses, very fascinating and inspiring. Nobody knows who wrote these 9 verses. Some scholars say it is by the great Sridhara Swami of the 16th or 17th century, who wrote a commentary on the Gita and a beautiful commentary on the Srimad Bhagavatam. So we study this Gita Dhyana Shlokas. It begins with addressing the Gita as the mother, Amba. Amba is mother. Mahatma Gandhi said once that I lost my mother when I was young, but throughout my life I never felt the absence of a mother because I had the Gita as my mother. I refer to it every time. So you can see in the shloka beginning itself, Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamrita Varshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Amba Tvam Anusandhadami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshinim. Amba, O Mother, Bhagavad Gita, O Bhagavad Gita, Bhavadveshinim, which destroys relativity, finitude, and other weaknesses within us, our creatureliness, it destroys. Tvam anusandhatami. You I meditate upon continuously. That is the last line. And the rest are a description of the Gita. Parthaya Pratibodhitam. It was to enlightened Partha, Arjuna, that this was taught by Bhagavata, by Bhagavan, Narayana Swayam, Sakshat Narayana, that infinite divine personality who came as Krishna as an incarnation. So Sakshat Narayana, Vyasena Graditam, that was made into a 700 verses by Vyasa, the author of the Mahabharata, and introduced into his mighty epic, that Mahabharata. Purana Munina. Vyasa is known as Purana Muni, not only ancient sage, but also the sage who composed many Puranas, many beautiful religious works. Madhye Mahabharatam, introduced in the midst of Mahabharata. Advaita Amrita Varshinim, this mother is what reigns Advaita Amrita, the nectar of Advaita, non-duality. We are all one. That great philosophy is what you get out of the Gita. So it's called Varshinim, a raining of the Advaita inspiration. Bhagavatim, the blessed divine person. Ashtadashadhyayinim, having 18 verses. That mother, Amba, Anusandhatami, we meditate upon. That is the opening verse. Now comes Namostute Vyasa Vishada Buddhe, a tribute to Vyasa. You are Vishala Buddhi, extraordinary intellect. Namostute, salutations to thee, O Vyasa. Pullarabindayata Patranetra. Your eyes are elongated like the petals of a lotus. Pullarabinda. That is how poets describe great person's eyes, compared to the petals of a lotus, slightly elongated. Yena tvaya bharata taila purna prajvalizo jnanamaya pradeepaha, by which you lit up a lamp of jnana, lamp of pure knowledge, spiritual knowledge. By how did you light it up? Through the oil of the Mahabharata, Bharata Taila. In that oil of Mahabharata is this wonderful lamp, jnana. Yena tvaya bharata taila purna prajvalito. Jnanamaya pradeepaha. Pradeepa means a light. And jnanamaya, consisting of knowledge, full of knowledge, high knowledge. That is the service Vyasa has done to all humanity. Vyasa is highly praised in India. He is considered to be an extraordinary intellect. He divided the Vedas into 4, editing it, then any number of Puranas, and then the Bhagavad Gita, along with the Mahabharata itself, the greatest epic, an epic which is 9 times the 2 epics of Greece together. That is the nature of the Mahabharata epic. India has 2 great epics, Mahabharata, Ramayana. Next is a tribute to Sri Krishna. Prapanna Parijataya, Totravetekaparnaye, Jnanamudraya Krishnaya, Gita Amrita Duhe Namaha. Salutations to Krishna. What kind of Krishna? Krishna with the Jnanamudra. This kind of mudra is called Jnanamudra. The bodily kind of posture which has some spiritual, psychological meaning. So this is called Jnanamudra. Krishna with this Jnanamudra, who is Gita Amrita Duhe, the milk of the nectar of the Gita. That's what Krishna did. Prapanna Parijataya, who is also the wish-fulfilling tree to those who resort to him. We have got the concept of the wish-fulfilling tree, Parijata. Totrave Trekapanaye. In one hand, he has that stick to drive the cows. He was a cowherd. And so, Totrave Tekapanaye. Jnana Mudraya Krishnaya Gitamrita Duhe Namaha. This is a beautiful idea. Jnana Mudra. What it means is difficult to say, but one thing seems to be clear, that the capacity to oppose thumb to forefinger is a human capacity. No animals, not even the chimpanzee, can do it. Chimpanzee can do only like this and never like this. And this is the beginning of man's technical ability, the human being's ability to manipulate nature and develop science, culture, civilization, and higher life. And so, this is considered to be the symbol of all jnana. And we don't make a distinction between physical knowledge and spiritual knowledge. Knowledge is one. It's a continuous pursuit. Therefore, jnana mudraya, Krishnaya. Many of the images in temples of great gods or the Divine Mother, you will find the same jnana mudra. And this is highly commended in all our spiritual literature. Then, Sarvo Upanishado Gavo, Dogdha Gopala Nandanaha, Partho Vatsa, Suthir Bhokta, Dugdham, Gita Amritam, Mahat. Now comes a very beautiful analogy. All the Upanishads considered as a cow, Krishna as the milkman, Arjuna as the calf, and the milk drawn is the nectar of the Gita, and it is meant for the good people of the world to nourish them spiritually. Sarvo Upanishado Gavo. Gavo is the word for cow. Dogdha, milkman. Duhu, to milk. Dogdha. Gopala Nandanaha, that cowherd boy. Gopala Nandana. Partho Vatsa. Arjuna is the calf. The calf drinks the milk a little. Then as it starts flowing, calf is tied away and milk is taken. Suthir Bhokta, the good people of the world, they are the drinker of this milk. And what is that milk? Dugdham Gita Amritam Mahat, the great nectar of the Gita is the milk so drawn by Krishna from the Upanishads. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. The last line says, Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. I salute Krishna, the teacher of the world, Jagadguru, not teacher of a sect, not teacher of a small number of people, but the whole world, humanity. Krishna kept humanity in view. So it's called Jagadgurum. Devaki Paramanandam, who is the blissful son of Devaki. He gave great joy to his mother, Devaki. Devaki, the joy of Devaki is Krishna. Similarly, Vasudeva Sutam, the son of father Vasudeva. Kamsa Chanura Mardanam, Vasudeva Sutam Devam, who has destroyed two evil forces, Kamsa and Chanura, during his young days. You will read it in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 10th book, the story of Krishna, and during his early life, what all things he did. There comes this Kamsa Chanura Mardana story. Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Now comes a very, very long shloka or verse. Bhishma Drona Tata Jayadrusjala Gandhara Nilotpala Shalyagrahavati Kripena Vahani Karnena Velakula Ashwatthama Vikarna Karna Akara Duryodhanavatini Sottirnakalu Pandavai Ranadadi Kaivartaka Kesavaga. The shloka says that great battle of Kurukshetra compared to a river, Rananadi, the battle river. The Pandavas could cross that river safely. It was full of dangerous things. because Krishna was the helmsman. He was guiding the whole thing. Kaivartaka Kesavaha. Krishna was the Kaivartaka, the boatman. And what are the dangerous things? Bhishma, Drona, Tata, the two banks of the river. Bhishma, Drona, mighty warriors of the Kaurava army. Jayadratha Jala, Jayadratha is the water in the river. Gandhara, Nilotpala, Gandhara, the king of Gandhara, the Shaguni, he is the lotus, blue lotus, blue lily in that river. Shalya Grahavati, Shalya is a shark, another great character in the Mahabharata. Grahavati, Kripena Vahani, the current is Kripa, and also, and Karna is the breakers, and Ashwathama and Vikarna as terrible Magaras, certain what you call wild and ferocious type of fish or Magaras. Duryodhana Avartini. Duryodhana is the whirlpool in that river. Sotirna, that river of battle was crossed over by the Pandavas safely with Krishna as the helmsman. Similarly, Parasharivacha Saravaja Mamalam Gitatha Gandhotkatam Nanakhyanaka Kesaram Harikatha Sambodhana Bodhitam Loke Sajjana Shradbatairaha Aharaha Pepiyamanam Muda Bhoyad Bharata Pankajam Kalimala Prabdhamsina Shreyase. This is a tribute to the Mahabharata. May the taintless lotus of the Mahabharata, growing on the waters of the words of Parashara's son, that is Vyasa, having the Gita as a strong, sweet fragrance, with many a narrative as its stamens, fully opened by the discourses on Hari, the indwelling Lord in all, Hari, that is Vishnu or Krishna, and drunk joyously day after day by the Brahmara of the good and the pure in the world. The bees, Brahmara is the bees, they come and drink the honey that is there. Let this great Mahabharata be productive of the supreme good of him, to him who is eager to destroy the taint of Kali, evil age in which you live. To destroy it, this will be a great blessing. Whenever there is such evil, this kind of Gita will be a tremendous blessing to all. That is the greatness of the Mahabharata, which nurtured the Gita inside. Now comes a very oft-quoted verse by every saint in India. Mokam karoti vachalam, pangum lankhayate girim, yat kripa tamaham bande paramananda madhavam. I salute the blessed Paramananda Madhava, the infinitely blissful Krishna. His name is Madhava also, whose grace, he says, Tamaham Vande, whose grace, Mukam Karoti Vachalam, makes the dumb become eloquent. That's the nature of divine grace. And Pangum Lankhayate Girim, the man who is absolutely lame, he is able to cross mountains. Why and how? Yak Kripa, by whose grace. That Krishna I salute. Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam, all blissful Madhava. Then the last verse is also extremely popular. People recite it during prayers. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Tvinvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedais Sangapata Kramopanishadaihi Gayantiyam Samagaha Dhyanavasthita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyantiyam Yogino Yasyantam Navidu Surasara Gunaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Tasmai Devaya Namaha is the last portion. That to that Deva be our salutation, that divine person. The rest are what you call further adjectives of the divine person. Salutations to that God whom the Creator Brahma, then Varuna, Indra, Rudra, and the Maruts praise with divine hymns. whom the singers of Samaveda is known as a musical Veda. Singers of Sama by the Vedas with their full complement of parts. They sing. The singers of Sama sing, whom the singers of Sama sing by the Vedas with their full complement of parts, consecutive sections and Upanishads. They are all sections of the Vedas, whom the yogis see with their minds absorbed in him through perfection in meditation. That's the beautiful idea.